Just want to say out there to that talentless piece of shit hairdresser, Belinda Jeffries, you little cunt. Oh, I want to see you in Australian Federal Court for your cocaine dealing. My family do own racehorses. Well, not anymore, because they're retired, and most of them are dead, like Mum's grandfather over here is a jockey. That's Arthur William James Keegan. That's Reginald George Purdy, who owned Pacers and Trotters. That's Lola May Keegan, who grew up with racehorses. That's Lola May Keegan, Reginald George Purdy, Carol Ann Purdy, thoroughbreds. I grew up with thoroughbreds. I grew up with lots of money in my family. How'd you grow up, deadbeat from Penrith? This is the Fleming side. That's Stanley Fleming. That's Ruby Jean Hill. It's Ruby Jean Hill, Stanley Fleming, Sandra Fleming. That's Dad, I think, down there at the front, and that's Uncle William. Uncle Warren. That's Mark Ian Fleming, Stanley Fleming, Sandra Fay. There's Linda. Linda Marion Fleming. Aunt Linda, who moved down near Barrel. That's Reginald George Purdy. That's myself competing at Royals. I competed at Nationals and Royals. That's Stanley Fleming. That's why I look like a wog. That's Ruby Jean Hill. That's Aunt Linda, who lives down near Barrel. You see? You see, you scummy little piece of shit hairdresser that thought you can involve yourself into your client's life, you scumbag piece of shit, Belinda Jeffries. You don't get to involve yourself in my life, you little cunt. Yeah, there's Lola May. That's one of the Pop sports cars up there. That's Reginald George Purdy, Lola May. There's Lola May up against one of Pop sports cars. Yeah, see, families. Oh, by the way, Lola May's family, they're from Bellevue Hill, although her nephew still lives in Leichhardt. See, that side of my family I keep in touch with. The Purdys I don't, because Reginald George Purdy, he never liked his family. So he basically disowned his family and took on his wife's family. Okay, so the Purdys were still all around the inner city suburbs of Sydney. I didn't really know them well growing up. His mother lived her life out in Newtown, although she's from Paddington. Okay, but I grew up with my nan's side, which means my nan's mother, my nan's uncle, and I still keep in touch with my nan's brother's son, who's my cousin. We catch up all the time at the Strawberry Hotel for steak. He's a retired police officer. So he knows all about the racing industry in the inner city suburbs of Sydney because he grew up with it. He grew up with all these people, like which are my family members, because he's my he's my blood family member, he's my cousin. Reginald George Purdy. Yeah, you see, my family are in the racing industry, equestrian, nationals, royals, gallopers, pacers, and trotters. Oh, and hang on. Reginald George Purdy's sister, where is it? She actually had the greyhound dogs. Valerie Purdy. And his mother Lillian had greyhounds. All at Harold Park Raceway as well in the inner city suburbs of Sydney because they all had horses in the inner city. Yep. Nan's cousins from Bellevue Hill. So Gary Williams on my nan's side says Williams on Fleming's and there's Williams on Keegan's side. Gary Williams is my nan's cousin. He was gay. My nan was so excited when I came out that I was gay because her favourite cousin was Gary Williams, who got left his grandmother's house, a big mansion in Bellevue Hill, and he sold it, lived his life out in Bondi. Because there's part of Nan's family that's all from Bellevue Hill and Bondi area. Now that is my nan's grandmother's sister's family. So my nan Lola, her grandmother's sisters are from Bellevue Hill. So that side. So it's Julia's sisters, May and Annie, that are from Bellevue Hill. Julia, she went to Wellington, New South Wales, and I asked Nan, because that's where the racing industry was 100 years ago, basically. So even though they're from the city, they follow the racing, which is exactly what Arthur William James Keegan wanted to do because they owned Gallopers and he was a jockey. They went, before him, but still, it was Julia Ryan, who married George Sayer. George Sayer was the only guy that came over from England of his family, and then they relocated from the city to Wellington, New South Wales. It was back and forth, Nan was telling me, because I lived in between the city and I lived where they had the property. They had the racehorses, they were in the city, racehorses city. Much like how I grew up. So you want to involve yourself in someone's life? Let me tell you something, Belinda Jeffries, who thought, what was it? But wasn't Giovanni his carer? This is fantastic. I just used the leftover mix that I made for key lime pie, added to it to make a creme brulee and did a spongy top for a dessert. So creme brulee base with a sponge top. That's fantastic. I can't believe I pulled that off. So there is a creme brulee that is a key lime creme brulee with a sponge. I thought the sponge wasn't going to work. Top, and I'm still going to do a sugar glaze on top of that so it gets a crunch, sponge, and creme brulee. That's my dessert. Oh, how can I do this? It's called talent, fuckwits. You got it or you don't. And Belinda Jeffries, you don't have it. You remind me of a mum's deadbeat friggin' sister's daughter. Sorry, Christy Childs. So yeah. Oh, ribbons from the Royals. Yeah, I grew up very different to what scumbags did that thought they could involve themselves into my life. And what was it, Belinda Jeffries? But Giovanni was telling all of these organisations he was a carer and you've got no idea what I've got to do for Justin. He's got to rush home apparently and cook dinner because I'm an invalid who's just come home and quickly put on a steak while making creme brulee. And oh, by the way, there's scones in the background. I wanted scones for breakfast, so I just make them. There we go. Scones. Okay, about to put them in the oven. Because I wanted scones for breakfast. What's else? Oh, he's high. No. I've never been a drug user, but guess what, Belinda Jeffries? You are. And you thought because of my, sleep pattern? I work shift work. I've been working shift work right up until 2020. Okay, I work shift work my entire life. And as for housing, I'll tell you now, with Nina from Housing Commission, I want to see a legal team take on Housing Commission. Give me my money back. Every cent. I want nothing to do with Housing Commission. So I was buying a place up north. You see, there was two things happening. I got back from America in 2015 as a permanent resident, still having all of my money from my sale of the investment property, 16 Scott Road, in the bank, plus all my fixed term deposits from my salary at Star Casino and my savings, well over 200,000 sitting in the bank. And I was going to do one of two things. One of them was buying a house up north, a massive, big, large Art Deco house. Sitting on that money. The second thing was, well, hang on, I've got the green card to the US, so I'll leave this money to buy in a 24-hour city in America. I don't use drugs. Never been a drug user. That's the Rackley's. And I'm still wondering, I'm dumbfounded how I could be labelled as a drug user in the last 11 years. How? Oh, he's a He's a cannabis smoker. Oh, you fucking losers. I'm not Rackley. I'm so anti-cannabis. Oh, you've got the most extreme anti-cannabis person here. If you think, I can't stand it. That's mum's second husband's family. Mark Rackley and his son, Daniel Rackley. I can't stand it. I'm like the fact that Australia still has that as a criminal offence. I smoke cigars. That's right. I do smoke cigars and I smoke rolling tobaccos occasionally. That's right. But I would never, ever do anything disgusting like illicit drugs. I'll leave that to Belinda Jeffries and Anthony Turner, shall I? And then label me as he's high, or he's this, or he's that. This is insane. That's defamation. And every time you say it, I've got a year to try and bring a legal case to you. So keep saying it. I want to see it as criminal defamation because that way it goes from a civil matter into a criminal matter where you can go to jail for... two things can happen. If your criminal defamation caused any harm to my health, then there's two charges. Okay, on top of that, there's criminal defamation plus reckless endangerment to one's health. Oh, maybe New South Wales police could get their finger out of their ass. Yeah, I don't use drugs. Oh, by the way, and how did you come to that equation? Oh, we broke surveillance and monitoring laws. Oh, you did you? There's 3 charges. So the best bet is that the state government pay me my money back, and we're talking about a lot more than 200,000, and I'll be on my way because I want nothing to do with your shitty little organisation. You forced me into it. And then you also break international laws into America. International laws and human rights laws. Can you read a toxicology report, losers? There's plenty. Actually, Professor Bruce put his name on them because there's no way from a period of time. He's like, well, there's no possible way he was using illicit drugs from this time to this time. Because there's too many toxicology reports that overlap. It's impossible. You labelled me as a character of a person because of my mum's second husband's family. And that's what you deadbeats did. Well done. And here I'm sitting. I'm not going to be doing anything. I want you people charged. I want you in jail. And I want you sued. And that means my upstairs neighbours. I don't care. Police can pander to you all they want. You broke the law. Police are fucking losers. They can be held accountable and go to jail themselves. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep making this a huge keep making it a federal issue. Federal, not state. Okay, because federal needs to pull in line these deadbeats that lied about me. Oh, and as for my mum's family, they're disowned because of it. They'll be remaining disowned. Instead of getting a solicitor and looking at the facts and correcting lies about their own family member, they encouraged it, which is what they've always done, encouraged lies about me so other people would do it. They enhanced it. They over-embellished. My family over-embellished. Amanda, my twin sister, repeats everything that my mother tells her to say, whether it's true or false. So they will remain disowned forever because I don't need such toxic, control freak, narcissistic troublemakers that cost me a shitload of money and health damages in my life ever again. I won't speak to my twin sister again, not after that amount of damage. You think you're going to sit back and you think you're going to get away with labeling me a character person I'm not? You've got the acting stunt from 2016 to 2018. That's great. Let's see that in court. Let's grab the acting stunt. I did it deliberately. Let's go and do it. And I've got documented facts. Shitloads of documented facts. They back me up. Papers upon papers. And if my doctor doesn't start doing something against these organisations, then I'll write a request in to the medical industry and be like, well, hang on, negligence. He knows damn well I've never been an illicit drug user. He knows damn well that an organisation broke surveillance laws in my life. He's got the records there. He's got the documents. My doctor could be standing up doing a lot more than what he's doing. He's got everything there and he knows that this is just bullshit, that these fucking little scumbags need to be dealt with criminally, and even my upstairs neighbours should be taken to court and charged criminally. They should be fucking sued, these pieces of shit. Housing Commission, fucking little cunts of Housing Commission. I want to see them dragged through the dirt where there's nothing fucking left of them. You owe me what you cost me, you scumbags, and you'll pay it.